Hello and welcome. I am Dogbert here to give you my guide. If you just bought the Time Heist account all the way up to level 80 on a brand new account, or maybe just an account you just had a little laying around for some reason, and this is going to be about, how to just start out. Things you need to think about, things you need to do. And now I am actually somebody who has done this. This is my Whalebird account. So I actually do have experience with this. I'm going to talk about some of the things I've ran into and some of the things you need to think about. So the first thing, let's just take a look at some of the characters. Some of the characters you do get and don't get. A lot of these characters up here you don't get, but you do get the Eternals, you do get Kestrel, you get the Infinity Watch women, Phyla, Nebula, Gamora, Moondragon. You'll get Hulk, essentially by just claiming all the achievements. That's one thing you have to think about when you do get this stuff. You're going to get a lot of achievements. Make myself a little bit bigger there. Make it look a little bit nicer, I think. I don't know. You let me know. Anyway, you're going to get a bunch of achievements because of all these characters you're going to unlock. Those are things you don't see when you're initially buying these offers. You do get a Brotherhood team without Magneto. You do get an Uncanny X-Men team. As you can see, a couple of them there. Without Phoenix, you do get the Axemen without Jubilee, because she's a legendary. I've upgraded Hela, but you do get Hela as part of the Asgardians. You do get the Black Order minus Ebony Maw, because he's a legendary again. You do get the symbiotes at level 65. I upgraded them a bit more for a reason. We'll get into that. You get X-Force. You get Inhumans minus Black Bolts. You get the Asgardians, like I think I already said. You do get Wakandans. You do get power armor. Wakandans, though, you get at a much lower level. You get them, I think it's level 35 they start out at. You will get Ravagers at 50. Sinister Six at 50, X-Force at 50, Guardians at 50, Hydra at 50 as well, and then you get down to these 35s and everything. So like I said, the first thing you want to do is, of course, claim those achievements. You're going to unlock Hulk. He's a good character to work on, and eventually you'll need him for Apocalypse in the future. So first thing, of course, then is you're going to have all these characters. Of course, the biggest ones being these level 80 guys you're going to have. In reality, they're not that great overall, but they will get the job done. You do get tremendous heroes in just that the Silver Surfer, Eternals, Kestrel, Gamora will pretty much clear all of that. So some things you want to start doing is start thinking about, okay, what about attacking the dark dimensions? Who am I going to need for those dark dimensions? Who do I need to bring up? Who do I need to work on for Arena? Well, the answer is you already have an Arena team. It's the Eternals. Kestrel, Silver Surfer, Gamora. If you want to be outspeeding another Time Heist account, then you're going to be throwing in Cable and or Loki into the mix. But pretty much it will be the Eternals, Kestrel, then probably Cable and Loki if you want to go for the absolute maximum speed you can do right off the bat. And that's what comes into the Arena, of course my specialty, of what's going to happen in Arena. Essentially, we have 3 Arena metas. The initial Arena meta will be the Eternals, Cable, Loki, Kestrel, or Silver Surfer. Doesn't really matter. If you're going faster, you win. If it becomes a mirror match, oh well, it's going to win. It's going to come down to who wins the coin flips. After that, if somebody buys or unlocks Emma, that will be the person who ends up winning. However, the next iteration of Arena will be the Spider Weaver 2099 meta. Yep, this is going to come back, because this is all pre-apocalypse, which is going to be a while. These 2 characters, Spider Weaver and 2099, you've already spent $330. If you're going to spend money on other characters, there's 3 characters you should think about spending money on. Of course, I just said Emma. The other 2 being 2099 and Spider Weaver. The reason why is that they will be the Arena meta. As you can see, I don't have Emma right now. I do have the Eternals. I do have Cable. on defense, because that speeds up my Spider-Man 2099 and my Spider-Weaver, whereas Loki is only going to speed up Cersei. So that's why we don't use Loki. Of course, if I had Emma, Emma would be in Cable's place, and then it would come down to if somebody else has Emma, it'd be a coin flip, unless they're willing to take out the Eternals, which you can do. In longer term, there's other mix and matches of that meta, and this will work until somebody gets Apocalypse, in which case then they win, because that will take us team out right away. But this is going to be a very long time going if you are on a brand new account. And the other thing you have to remember, right now, the Time Heist, at least the one-on-one, because I was one of the first people to get a Time Heist account. I have lots of other people with Time Heist accounts, and that really made me want to buy 20. I got Spider-Weaver out of Mega Orb. It really made me want to buy 2099 then, because somebody else had gotten them in my shard. But maybe they don't watch my videos. Maybe they don't know how to play the arena like I do. Maybe it's my experience, but that's what you want to look for in that meta. Now, I did say those 3 characters you'd want to buy. However, don't just buy the Time Heist and then buy those 3 characters. The reason being is Mega Orbs. You might be thinking, what the hell are you talking about, Dogbert? We don't get Mega Orbs with the Time Heist bundle. Not directly, no. You will be able to clear Dark Dimension 1 and Dark Dimension 2 within the first couple days. You'll be able to do both your runs because you can literally just put the damn thing on auto and win. So when we look at the who we can get in here, we have lots of good characters. Of course, Nemesis, Great Death Seed. Of course, you have the Eternals, but the big thing is we do have Spider-Weaver in here. You can get her out of the Mega Orb. I believe 2099 is in a lower version. Some of the good characters. There's 2099. He's in here. I don't think Emma's in here at all. So Emma might be the only character you might want to buy day one. But I would wait to buy Weaver in 2099 until after you've completed those Dark Dimensions. Like I said, you can literally put Silver Surfer, the Eternals in. Kestrel and Gamora hit auto. You will clear DD1, you will clear DD2, you will get Ultron, you'll get all the Mega Orbs, you'll get all the Gold Orbs out of there. So you don't have to really worry about that. See if you get a Spider-Weaver that way and a 2099 that way before you make any other additional purchases. Just having them unlocked is good enough, and you'll be rolling over your opponents in the future. Now, the other thing you might want to come out here and do is start upgrading characters willy-nilly. Don't do that. The only team I recommend putting some levels on is the Symbiotes. And the reason why I say this, I upgraded the Symbiotes because of the Gold Challenge. This allowed me to use those Symbiotes to get higher into that Gold Challenge. So whenever the challenge comes around those 3 days a week, I'm getting more and more gold, which is absolutely needed. Another team to consider upgrading, at least right now, is the Wakandans, believe it or not. The Wakandans not only being a very good team overall, they're very good in Cosmic Crucible, especially since they have that room right now where they're getting buffed. They're very difficult, if not impossible, to beat at this level when you first start out there. But you also need Wakandans inside the Doom campaign, which also leads me into another thing you want to think about is these campaigns. You do get a lot unlocked, but you do not get everything unlocked. Like, you have to do the Cosmic campaign. You have to finish that out. The Mystic campaign, you have to finish that out. Then you have to do the Heroes and Villains campaign, 7, Nexus 8. And eventually you're going to get to this Doom one. You can see I have yet to finish the complete Doom one. I can take my time or up here. But it's here. This is where you need Wakandans to get through this. This is more or less to get to Captain Sam. Plus, you are going to need these Gear 14 pieces very shortly once we start getting into Dark Dimension 3 more. Enough about that. So, as I spoke about campaigns, other character now. There's other characters you're going to get. So one of the first things you need to do actually is go unlock some Legendaries. But not all the Legendaries, believe it or not. There's only some Legendaries you really need to unlock. And the first one is probably going to shock you, and that is Doc Ock. You absolutely need to go unlock Doc Ock. And you can do this because you have X-Force at 5 stars. So why am I saying go unlock Doc Ock? It comes back again to these campaigns. It's the Villains campaign, 7-1, after you beat the Heroes version. AIM, Hydra, or Sinister 6. You do get a Baron Zemo, which will help out. But simply getting a Doc Ock, leveling up to level 60, will pretty much wipe out this campaign, let you get through it by yourself, and move on in this campaign to get some more unlocks. Start getting those shards. You really just want to, like I said, unlock all this. This will unlock the Nexus campaign, 8. So you can pretty much do all these, no problem. The first 3 or whatever you want to use. Then you have Kree, Guardian, or Asgardian. Obviously, you already got Asgardians for free. Shield, Brotherhood, X-Men, you're loaded there. You get through this, and then you unlock the Doom War campaign, which you want to start working on that as well. As far as Hero 7-1, since I didn't mention that, another reason why you want to upgrade those symbiotes is only city characters, only city hero characters. That's Symbiote Spider-Man and Anti-Venom will help out tremendously here. Those two can almost do this by themselves. Except for, like, I think this node was the only one that had any kind of problems. You might bring somebody else. I brought in pretty much Symbiote Spider-Man, Multiple Man, Anti-Venom. You'll be able to get through these nodes no problem. Global characters, you'll have tons of global characters. Cosmic characters, you have Eternals, enough said. So those are some of the campaigns you want to start looking at, but the other campaigns you can actually do right away are the hard campaigns for the heroes and villains. Let's talk about heroes. You can just take your time getting through here. I do recommend getting unlocked like the Echo node. You're going to want to eventually get the Young Avengers anyway. The Anti-Venom node, because that's where the gold is. The big prize, though, in here is mostly back here on Heroes 1-9. If you're not buying Emma, you need to start farming Emma as much as possible, as much as you possibly can. It's either this node or Orb drops or Purchaser. So absolutely go after her right away. Now you're going to notice one thing here is when I go look at the villain side, I'm not that far in. Because we do not get very good villains at all. So villains is going to be much more of a struggle. I struggled just to unlock the Cloak node. Just so I could save on raid credits and get him. So that you can get through it. It's difficult. And we'll talk about ways and why I'm going after Cloak in a bit. The other thing when you're looking at these characters of who you need to build up, you're going to need eventually a raid team. Now, I do suggest the Rebirth if you can get Rebirth. I got lucky, got Captain Carter out of a Mega Orb. Then they had Agent Venom and US Agent and Strike Passes and whatnot. If they become farmable by the time you were looking at this, absolutely go after the Rebirth characters. You already get Captain America. You already get Winter Soldier at lower levels, and then I upgraded them. So that is a great team. Another team you could consider is Web Warriors. You are more or less given the Web Warriors through login calendars. You will get them. They do work. So don't downplay them, especially since you won't be doing Doom 3. Or at first, you'll be doing Doom 1, Doom 2. Depending on what you're doing, you could even be doing Ultimus, depending on what kind of alliance you get into. The other thing is watch when you're upgrading characters. One of the problems I have is you do not get a whole lot of purple ability materials, to be honest with you. This will be a huge problem. It still is a problem for me. Eventually this does go away, but just look out for that. In the first few days, you'll also have a problem with blue ability materials. That, though, does go away fairly quickly. So don't worry about that too much. Just deal with it for the first week, and it will go away as you get into things and get building more. I forgot to mention about the legendaries. I talked about Doc Ock is a legendary. Shuri is another legendary you want to unlock. And you can unlock because that's a Spider-Verse. Another reason why to upgrade maybe a little bit into the symbiotes. I did upgrade Minerva, but that was for a different reason. That didn't work out. The other thing you're going to have to start thinking about is, well, a character I just showed. Let's talk about them right now. That is the Horseman characters. You got to start thinking about, what do I need to get through at lower difficulty levels of the Scourges, because at lower difficulty levels you can use more characters, more broad characters. Now, Red Hulk is running his second time already within a month, so I was able to actually unlock Red Hulk now on this second run through. I got 75 shards the first time. I just did a basic 300,000 run, got the rest of the shards I needed. You see, I got a couple more and I really need it, but I unlocked Red Hulk. I came very close. I'm like 5 shards away from unlocking Archangel. Let's see, where is he at? I believe he's at 95 out of 100. You can see I still have a lot of characters to unlock. Yep, there he is. Archangel, 95 out of 100. I did much better than I thought I would. And that was the main bottleneck there is the minions. So you have to build up some of those minions. But thankfully, with this account, you do get some of the better minions that you do want to build up are somewhat built. You get the Ravagers at level 50 and the Mercs at 35, I believe. So you get a little bit of a head start there. You do get Shield Medic given to you at level 65 gear tier 12. If on these lower difficulties, she could come in handy just to get you through it. If you want to start putting on a couple Scourges or something, you're going to be pretty much looking at Ravager, Stitcher, Bruiser, Boomer, Merc Ryguard, Merc Lieutenant for the long term to do better than that. You're going to need to gear them up a little bit too to get through like difficulty 3 and difficulty 4. I was doing difficulty 4 in this particular case. The reason why, once you hit difficulty 5, that's when you start needing Node 5 and 10 teams. You don't need those Node 5 and 10 teams in the lower difficulties. The same thing also happened to me with the Red Hulk. You first have to do the bio section, so you're going to need some bio characters. In my first run through, I had the symbiotes to help me out there. On the second run through, I had Rebirth, and it was an absolute joke. Another team I kind of ran into issues with the Avengers tag I needed. Thankfully, I had already built Captain America. Thor comes in handy. You do get Thor at like level 65. I upgraded him a little bit just to do some more damage. Hulk, great choice. You're going to have to build him up anyway. So you want to bring him in. Falcon does great work, but I wouldn't really recommend him long term. Black Panther, build him up anyway. And the rest I just kind of let sit right now. Eventually I want to get like the Squirrel Girl, the Captain Sam, the Young Avengers period. For that. Then the only real headache is villains. Villains is a major headache for me. You just don't get many good villains, really. I mean, you got like Thanos in the Black and some of the Black Order. You don't get the entire thing. So pick and choose. I really haven't upgraded the villains too much. They pretty much are where they're at. Other than like really Winter Soldier and US Agent, who I got. If you can get a good villain, though, absolutely upgrade them and get them going. Emma, tremendous thing that you want to look at. So those are some of the legendaries you can get. You want to look at those 4 horsemen. This is where you maybe want to look into building the web warriors, because for difficulty 5 and 5, nodes 5 and 10, difficulty 5 and above from Morgan Le Fay. If you actually care about getting here, if you get to 2099 and Spider Weaver meta though, Morgan Le Fay won't really have an impact there. Even once you get into the hybrids, it's usually Red Hulk and Rogue, the 2 horsemen you use, along with like an Emma. So that makes Red Hulk and Rogue to be the number 1 character, number 1 and number 2 horseman characters you want to get. That's another reason why you want to get the Young Avengers, is because they're going to be useful for Rogue, and they're just a good all-around team. Oh, and now that we've talked about all these different characters, what you gotta watch out for, there's another thing you have to do, and that is the ISO campaign. You get the first set done, but you have to go through the second set. Use your ISO campaign energy wisely, and then start working on who do I want to eventually build up into the raid team to get the blue ISO on, or my arena team to get the blue ISO on eventually. But first you have to get them to ISO 5. But the Eternals do come with ISO 5 along with Kestrel already, so it's mostly like characters you're going to be building up. And the characters you built up, of course, are like your raid arena team. Like if you get Weaver, I had to build her up. 2099, got to build her up. And of course, I got Rebirth, so I built them up. I built up Captain America quite a bit. I built up, Icarus and Cersei as I'm going. But pretty much the plan then is just get one basic raid team. Rebirth, great. That's a global team. I don't have a city team, but that would be nice. So the next real consideration is Dark Dimensions. Well, you finish Dark Dimension 1, you finish Dark Dimension 2. If I just walking away, having dinner, and came back after you hit auto, you can actually start Dark Dimension 3 as well. Now, when you start Dark Dimension 3, you're not going to have great characters. You're just going to have the basics. I threw in Thanos there to get some energy. And again, this is just more resources to get things going. I one-shot the first 2 nodes. Then I start running into problems on node 3. It took me 8 attacks. Just do this a little bit every day just to get this started and get yourself going. And eventually you'll get through into the global section. Mission 4 is another problem one. And then you get into the globals. Originally when I started globals, I just threw some characters I had in there. I got through it. I got better characters. I brought up like Hulk. The Rebirth, just the base 3 originally I had Winter Soldier, Captain America, and Peggy. They do tremendous work. And then I got Weaver and Hulk in there. I got them up to gear 14. That made it a lot easier. And then I'm just working through it. Cosmic was a joke, and I'm stuck on City because I don't have any City characters. Which brings me back to another point, is gearing these characters. You're going to have all these characters you want to gear right away. Level up right away. Don't do it. Be careful about what you do. I'm running into a tremendous problem with purple gear in the purple uniques. These you can't really go and farm. These you just have to get through the purple raid orbs as you get those slowly, a couple every day, and hope that you get the right ones you need. And this also extends into the orange uniques. So what you're going to do here is you're going to be buying constant things out of this out of the gold store. This is where I put a lot of gold. I'm constantly looking for the right ones. Also, watch your green gear. You're going to need to buy green gear as you go. This is where a lot of my raid credits go now. It's just looking for the exact uniques I need. So you're going to have a plan on who exactly you're bringing into Dark Dimension 3. Eventually taking into Dark Dimension 4 and 5 hopefully as well. Now don't forget with Dark Dimension 3 though, after the first few nodes you can go in as little as 1 character. So keep that in mind. Pretty much though, the Eternals you pretty much have a cosmic team. You really just need the Eternals, but you have other cosmic characters. Global does really require a full team to get through, so build some very good characters there. As for City, I'm building like Cloak, Dagger, Shang-Chi. I'll probably be building Dr. Octopus. You see now, if I had the credits, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Shang-Chi is probably going to get built. Doc Ock is going to get built. I'm even looking at this in war credits. I'm even willing to spend on orange gear. And even if it was the right unique, if the right unique, purple unique came up here that I really needed, I'd be buying it now. Like if there was purple gamma radiation. Also, once you get into Cosmic Crucible, you're going to be probably spending your Cosmic Crucible credits right now on orange. And even occasionally the purple uniques. I need this purple. This happens to be a purple unique, unfortunately, that is used by Shang-Chi, Spider-Man 2099, and Spider-Weaver as well. And I think even Peggy Carter uses the same. They all use the same unique. It's a nightmare. So just keep those things in mind. I have that problem. Let's check. Yep, she does use it. So I'm using like 4 characters that all use the same unique, creating an absolute nightmare for myself. Now this is why I'm talking about the City character. Why do I have Doc Ock hearted? He's not a very good character overall. Well, I'm actually going to build him up into gear 15 actually. I'm going to take him all the way through to Dark Dimension 4 at least. The reason being, he is a legendary city character. So he'll work in Dark Dimension 3 and in the city section for me. He's tech. He uses the titanium, which I'm not really not using anybody else because I'm not bringing like a Sharon Carter in. So this frees up tech gear. I have the uniques for him. He's a legendary, so eventually once I get into Dark Dimension 4, into the legendary section, he actually does quite well there. I'll be bringing whatever horseman I have then along with him. You need 4 characters total to get through that. I already got Red Hulk. I got Doc Ock here. I'll probably have Archangel, and hopefully I'll get Rogue or Morgan. Get them built up, bring them in here as well. And then, boom, I have a DD4, a legendary team. DD5 is a long way off. I don't have to worry about that for quite a while yet. So he is going to help out there. Shang-Chi, technically the skill raid team is kind of getting replaced with the new Invader team. But in reality, right now, for Doom, all the way up for Doom 3.5, Shang-Chi is still incredibly useful in there. Shang-Chi is just a very useful character, period. He is one of the strongest city characters. He will still be useful in DD3, 4, and 5, so I'm definitely bringing him. Of course, Cloak and Dagger, technically the Mystic Raid team. They're getting new members with the new Warriors, getting upgraded. So unlocking these characters was a must for me. Dagger gets to get out of the arena stores when I've been spending arena credits on. I've actually not been spending the raid credits to get Cloak. I've been using the campaign node to get his shards. Maybe you'll get a little bit lucky and get him out of an orb or something. That also helps out too. But pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4 characters right there I have marked for city. That is good enough to go and get me into city. I would love to get Squirrel Girl up and running as well. But she's another one who uses, I believe, the same unique as Shang-Chi in 2099. 2099 is a contender for the 5th character as well for a city team, since he is quite good in DD5. He does quite well in 4. He'll do quite good in 3. He's just a little bit on the squishier side. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Can I get enough uniques to get them built, and along with Cloak and Dagger? Thankfully, unfortunately, they are mystics, so that's going to be a little bit more of a problem when it comes to DD5, but they are absolutely necessary if you want to get through it as painless as possible through the city nodes. I know that already. That's why I'm willing to make the investment into them to get me through these dark dimensions a little bit quicker. As far as war goes, you're not going to be doing much in war, to be honest with you. I wouldn't really worry about it right at first. Try to go more offense heavy. Now, Cosmic Crucible is a very important thing to talk about, and it looks like I just won my last Cosmic Crucible. My opponent didn't even try. So one of the things I saw with going against other Time Heist accounts is they go way too heavy on defense. They put like all the top of their roster in here, and then they have nothing left for offense. And they can't possibly do anything because of how imbalanced our rosters are. So try to keep it a little bit more mixed like this. You just keep some purple characters down here. I brought the Wakandans up, and at this level they are holding quite well. Right now with the Room 5 buffs, we don't have the power on either side to clear this. If I came up against another Time Heist account, essentially neither of us can clear Room 5. It comes down to who has a strong Room 6. Because not everybody's building Wakandans like they should. I built Wakandans. This actually is getting me wins, just these 2 rooms. Because I can clear 5 of their rooms, they can only clear 4 of my rooms, if that. Another team that's actually kind of useful is this team right now with the Resurrection Protocols. The 2 tanks over here is incredibly annoying with Beast constantly healing them. This is just an annoying team. If you're looking for another annoying team to put on defense, your X-Force team is actually quite annoying. But because I put Cable over here, I didn't put my X-Force here. They're just kind of leftovers right now. And I just threw these 2 teams in here since I had no use for them. But keep in mind, you want to keep a bit more on offense when you're talking about Cosmic Crucible at this level, because you want to be able to especially keep those Brotherhood, keep those X-Men as much as you can, those Gear 14 characters, because that Gear 14 is a big jump compared to a Gear 13 or a Gear 12 character. They'll be able to clear other Gear 14 characters. Even if you have to 2 or 3 tap the room, at least you clear the room. You get these credits, which you need. Like I said, was we were short on purple gear. That is for sure. As far as raids, it's going to depend on what kind of alliance you can get into. And if you can get carried, get carried. I'm getting carried. I love it. I don't get to do much in raids other than join and wait for rewards. But that's the way life is if you want to get the advantage. As far as milestones and the events go, just do what you can. Get your Blitz teams up. And before I forget about Blitz, you might want to time when you create this Time Heist account, because the day you create it you're going to be in the beginner Blitz. You're going to go boom right to level 80. Oh, guess what? Now you can own that beginner Blitz and get some good shards of a character. So maybe time it if you can to a character you really want to get. I ended up getting Deathpool. Ended up being top 100 at the time and unlocked her very easily. Other than that, hoard your orbs. You're going to be short on training materials if you try to bring up too many characters at once, which is what I'm doing too much of. I'm constantly short on training materials. Those are all things you need to think about. You know, all the training materials, all the gold. You can open up your red stars as much as you want right now because you don't really have anything on anybody. So you absolutely want to. Don't spend dark promos on horsemen until after you have unlocked the horsemen and gotten the rewards. As far as you get lots of silver and gold to start out. Anybody who you're actually going to use or are using have unlocked and there's only 1 silver credit. Go ahead, spend the 1 silver, get a red star on them. As far as other characters, of course, always wait. You have to be a character you're actually using to spend the higher amounts of credits on, especially the gold credits. And number 2, a character for a long term. As you already saw, my Eternals, you get them at 3 red. You can see my Eternals, Kestrel, and Cersei. Kestrel, all at 6 red already. These were all bought. Silver Surfer was actually a pull. That was really dumb luck. Gamora, dumb luck. Yeah, but you do get them at 3 red. But definitely consider upgrading them as you have the star levels and just get them. And you can open up those red stars at least for the first month or so. And just open them up at will. Doesn't matter who the feature character is because you're not really getting too many new characters as is. Just get those red stars on your account. So I think I covered everything that I could possibly cover and think of right now. If you have any other questions, leave them down below in the comments. I'll try to get to them as much as I can. And don't forget, if you're watching this in the future, things have probably changed. Let's just as Cosmic Crucible buffs. What new characters have come out? Who knows? So keep that in mind when you're watching this. This is just a general guide of what you need to do. Watch out for your purple gear. Watch out for your purple ability materials. T4s, let's not even talk about that. You're not getting any. Let's just be honest with us. But have that plan of who you're taking to DD3, who you're taking to DD4, who you're taking to DD5, and then work on those horsemen as well, as always. And until next time, everybody, this was a long video.